I was like, okay, Tristan, should I buy a supercar? And he's like, why not? Like the brokers would be like, well, it's not an ROI positive investment when it comes to
depreciation.
But then he's like, well, let's talk about all the other verticals where it is valuable. Just like Khabib says, and just like they say is train Allah, train Allah, train Allah, train Allah. They're in a situation, they don't give a fuck, dude. They're just working. Don't attribute. They're like, oh yeah, well, you just got lucky. You're a 4-time kickboxing world champion. All right. It takes work. What do you think? You're just gonna be driving a Bugatti because you're out here selling the course? It takes so much more than that. Just because you don't agree with the messenger doesn't mean the message is not true. Well, I'll talk a little bit about kind of like our experience in Romania. So I've known Tate for about 2 years, right? So it's not this idea of like
by Rumble. I think. Hold on, real quick. I think the alpha is by Rumble. You can. I might be wrong. Obviously, not financial advice, but I really think Tate, Rumble, and the whole Red Pill movement. You, Sneeko.
So
I think you guys have a very big agenda.
I do not classify myself as Red Pill, and I'll tell you why. Because at the end of the Matrix movie, Neo realizes that he's not the chosen one. He chose to be the chosen one. So everybody can choose to be the chosen one. And what red pill means to one person might not mean red pill to another individual. So I do not want to be classified or grouped up with anybody. I'm an autonomous individual trying to figure shit out. I'm friends with different people. I'm friends with everybody. I'm trying to figure shit out. So I go to Romania, I've been helping Tate with certain things that he needed help with and things of this nature. I think it was about March of 2020 when COVID started. I came across one of like Tate's videos, and I drive 2 hours to go tell Nate, like, bro, this guy, like, he's gonna blow up when everybody gets fed up. This guy's gonna blow up. Yeah. If Tate was a stock,
how many followers did Tate have at the time?
Like 80,000 on Instagram.
And I think one of his first podcasts was with the Fresh and Fit and that one single girl. Right?
I'm not familiar, right? Like I haven't consumed a crazy amount of Tate's content, so I'm in a situation where I saw this guy. I'm like, okay. Like this guy's saying certain things, whether I agree or disagree with him is irrelevant, but he has a point. So I was like, when people get fed up, the pendulum is going to swing. Yeah. Right. So the pendulum did swing. And if Tate was a stock, dude, I would have gotten fucking pumped. Rich.
Yes.
And I was right. And the reason I was right is because I understood where things were going. So with that being said, I was like, hey, I saw, we've been doing business on certain things, just like I do business with hundreds of people. And I was doing my stuff in Southeast Europe, and I said, "Hey, Tate, I'm nearby." And he's like, "Pull through." So came by, just hung out, had a good time, and we just literally just talked about what we're talking about now. Yeah. Right. And you want to be in circles and situations and in rooms with people that are intelligent, people that are more intelligent with you, people that know information that you don't know. And another guy that's an absolute killer is their cousin Luke. Like that guy is a fucking gem.
Smart guy.
And one of the big things that I realized, and this is probably a highlight, whether you're left wing, right wing, whether you believe in this, whether you don't believe in this, no wings, chicken wings, it doesn't fucking matter. They have something that's extremely important. They have unity. Yeah. They take care of each other. So you need to be able to, regardless of the messenger, be able to look at a message and ask yourself, is there anything valuable worth extracting? Pull the meat, leave the bones. Most people look at something and they're like, oh, this is shit. Yeah. Well, maybe it's not shit. Maybe you are shit. Or maybe it's a different opinion. You don't have to love what everybody says, but maybe you can pull something that is useful for you. So what am I as a student of life? I want to expose myself in situations, put myself in scenarios, comfortable, uncomfortable, good, and bad, where I can excel. And what I came to realize, and Nate came to realize the same thing, is that these dudes have opinions that we don't agree with. They have opinions that we do agree with. But at the end of the day, I realized that they have something really, really important. This is the biggest highlight. They have each other. Yeah. Yeah. Bro, if you, I don't care what side political side you're on. If you don't have a strong team, if you can't look at how a bunch of,
we're in a world where everybody wants to do it by themselves. Exactly. Because the raps tell them, hey, I did it by myself from the ground up, right?
Exactly. The news tells them, let me tell you something, motherfuckers. Self-made doesn't exist.
Yeah, you can't do that shit alone. You need a team, you need a unit, and you need a strong team and unit.
Just like I sat down with the head of the central bank of Albania. I sat down to learn. Do you think I agree with his globalist agenda? No, I don't.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? I'm here to learn, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to learn. And when you're friends with people and you humble yourself and you put yourself in a situation to learn, you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I came to realize is they're more balanced than a lot of people think. There's things that they do that I don't agree with, but I'm not supposed to agree with everything.
Yeah.
If you're only hanging out with people that agree with everything that you do and say, then you're never going to grow. Yeah. Nobody's ever challenging you. Nobody's ever pushing you. And I'll give you one example, right? So for example, I did quite well in the bull run and things of this nature. And I was like, okay, Tristan, should I buy a supercar? And he's like, why not?
Yeah.
And we started talking about the pros and cons of having one, right? Like the brokers would be like, well, it's not an ROI positive investment when it comes to
depreciation.
But then he's like, well, let's talk about all the other verticals where it is valuable. Mm-hmm. And then he started making me realize, and he challenged me to do something that I didn't want to do because he had a good point. Whether I agree with his worldview on this or on that or on this, he had a good point about this specific topic. And dude, I've sat with people that I don't agree with fundamentally at their at the core, and I sit down and I listen. And I think if you instill that as a way of being and as a lifestyle, you can learn from everybody. Yeah. So I think Romania is fire. What do you think?
It was very interesting because we actually were in Romania before 20 years previously. Really? Yes. So it was very beautiful to see the country become something. Evolve. Yeah. Basically grow. I genuinely like the guys in terms of they have hard work, they're smart, and they have a team. Most people spend time talking about the Tates, and the Tates don't spend time talking about them.
Of course.
Dude, they fucking worried, bro.
I think it was in this video where I picked this up. I think Tristan said it, small minds talk about people, right? And then he said...
great minds talk about...
average people talk about...
I think current events and great minds talk about ideas. Correct. Yes. I think
and that's what we did. We just sat down and talked about ideas.
Somebody else said this. What's this actor that did the movie? What's the movie that he's like a janitor at Home Depot, but he's actually like a killer and takes over all like the
Matt Damon?
No, it's the black guy, the Russian mafia. He takes over the Russian mafia, the black guy. He's super famous.
Oh, Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington. Oh, Denzel. I think that's Denzel's quote. Denzel's got some fire quotes.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
Long story short, dude, we spent 2.5 months in Europe meeting with entrepreneurs from all over the world. And what I came to realize is that these guys, just like Khabib says, and just like they say, is train Allah, train Allah, train Allah, train Allah. They're in a situation where they don't give a fuck, dude. They're just working. So and so many people don't attribute. They're like, oh yeah, well you just got lucky. You're a 4-time kickboxing world champion. All right. Dude, it takes work. It takes work. What do you think? You're just gonna be driving a Bugatti because you're out here selling the course? It takes so much more than that.
Yeah.
So take what you want and leave what you don't want. But just because you don't agree with the messenger doesn't mean the message is not true.